What do I look like, a clown? Today we are diving straight into the world of teamsters and mafia men. That's right, 2.5 hours of fun with Martin Scorsese's 1990 classic, Goodfellas. This movie explores the life and times of a one Henry Hill and his friends, Jimmy and Tommy, and their journey to move up the mob's corporate ladder and become cream of the crop. I got this gross interest in mobsters. I find the entire mafia system fascinating and terrifying. I really just like this movie because it throws you right into the mix. I mean, right from the beginning, you're just like, okay, I know what I signed up for. Either strapped into the car with the boys, or I am thrown in the trunk with that guy. Either way, we're all gonna die. I just really like that it is the inner workings of the mob, and you see everything, and you realize how truly almost sad it is that these people, that mobsters are just kind of thrown into these lives that they can't get out of. That's one thing I really like about this movie, is that we see both the perspective of Henry and Karen, and we understand, yeah, there's nothing to be done about this. If Henry didn't become a mobster, what would his life have become? And if Karen didn't marry a mobster, she wouldn't have had anything to live for anyway. She would have married one of them. It may not have been one that was nearly as successful as Henry, but she would have married a mobster just because that was the neighborhood she grew up in. There's no avoiding it. It's just such an interesting piece of Italian culture that made its way overseas. I like voiceovers in movies most of the time. I really liked these voiceovers. I liked that it came without warning, that there was a switch, and there was going to be Henry talking and then Karen talking, and then you're just like, oh, okay, well, I'll accept that, because it was a lot like a testimony, like a court testimony, and that's the whole point, right? I think it takes a masterful director to make a film based on real events that still leaves you, nervous. You're still wondering, when is this gonna happen? I love the cast. Personally, I don't care much for Ray Liotta. I think he played Henry well. I don't like him because he reminds me of my uncles. Joe Pesci excels at being short and angry and sassy. And finally, Robert De Niro, a man I am just as attracted to as Martin Scorsese. I feel like in this movie, he is in his prime. He definitely is just, probably secretly a mobster. And he just does this well. He plays the role of Jimmy Conway well. Very well. My favorite scene is when they are dating, and they go through the entire montage of Karen meeting his family and them having the wedding, and then when she is talking about the day she spends with all the ladies, all the mob wives, and she is just so appalled at how gaudy they are, and she doesn't want to be them, and I just love it. And you don't really understand how these women can know that their husbands are doing bad things, and yet they're just gonna sit by and watch. I'm with Karen on this one. That's messed up. Finally, I would like to comment, without sounding too douchey, on the lighting. With this kind of movie, you could run the risk of it being too dark, because it is about the backdoor workings of the mob. However, Martin Scorsese, being the brilliant man that he is, knows what he's doing and knows how to light. Body language and facial expressions are key in a movie like this, you know, because on the outside, these people could be saying, like, verbally, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna go with the flow, I'm gonna kill who I gotta kill, do my job, whatever. But on the inside, they're thinking, my God, I'm gonna die. At the end, you feel Robert De Niro's, like, just intense suspense and fear. I think the most beautifully lit scene is the one in the club when Joe Pesci loses his shit. That's it! The end of Goodfellas. Everyone gets arrested or dies.
They had put a fart machine into my sleeping bag.